You work hard, you stay late, you work with your team, you always hit your deadlines, and still you never get noticed. No promotion, no big raise, just the same cycle year after year. Is it because you're not smart? Is it because you don't care? It's because you've mastered doing your job. You've built comfort out of competence. And that's exactly what Mark Cuban, billionaire investor and owner of the Dallas Mavericks, warns against. He advises work like someone is spending 24 hours a day trying to take it all away from you.
But what does that even mean?
It sounds paranoid, maybe even unhealthy. But think about it. It's not paranoia. It's not about working longer hours. It's about growing beyond what's expected. Part 1, the happiness trap. When you picture success, you probably imagine freedom, luxury, balance. But the truth? The higher people climb, the heavier it gets. Harvard tracked 500 CEOs for 5 years, and the higher they rose, the more anxious they became. Jeff Bezos admits he often wakes up with stomach-churning anxiety. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day, not for fun, but out of fear of missing something. Elon Musk sleeps in his factories to stay immersed in every moving part. Mark Cuban used to crash in his own office because he refused to go home while there was still more to learn. That's not comfort, that's focus under fire. And here's what we miss when we look at people like this. They're not addicted to stress, they've learned how to harness it. Where most people avoid tension, they use it. Pressure for them isn't something to escape, it's something to manage, channel, and master. So when someone asked Cuban the number one reason people fail, he didn't hesitate. Lack of brains, lack of effort. Most people want success without the struggle, but struggle isn't the obstacle, it's the speed bump. And if you know how to handle the bump, you don't slow down, you step on the gas. Because without pressure, your engine never hits full speed. Part 2. The pressure advantage. Here's the truth most people avoid. Your brain doesn't want success, it wants safety. The comfort mode feels nice. Netflix, scrolling, predictable routines. It keeps you calm and average. Then there's the pressure mode. Your brain releases norepinephrine, the focus chemical. You feel restless, anxious, but sharp. Most people run from that feeling. They meditate, take breaks, pull back. Successful people, they learn to live inside it. Because here's the twist. Learning to operate under pressure rewires your brain. You start craving the challenge instead of avoiding it. It stops feeling like stress. It starts feeling like energy. Part 3, the comfort curse. Think about your average day. You wake up, check your phone, go to work, come home, scroll, sleep, repeat. No real risk, no real stretch, just the loop. And the thing about loops, they're comfortable until they've quietly started shrinking you. See, comfort feels like safety, but it's really camouflage. It hides the fact that you've stopped evolving. That's why so many capable people plateau. They confuse stability with progress. They mistake busy for growing. Mark Cuban believes in what he calls productive paranoia. He points out that if you're not learning every day, someone else is, and they'll kick your ass. He's not glorifying fear, he's describing a mindset. It's the quiet voice that says, if I stop moving, someone else takes my spot. Comfort tricks you into believing you've earned a break, when in reality it's just slowing your edge. And that's the paradox of success. The better you get, the easier it is to stop doing the very things that made you great. Successful people don't protect their comfort zones, they dismantle them. Every time things start feeling too smooth, they shake things up. New projects, new challenges, new discomforts. Why? Because they know what most people never learn, that once you start feeling safe, you've also already started falling behind. Part 4. The real you. Mark Cuban says he can tell who's going to make it and who's not within 5 minutes. Not by their resume, not by their charm, but by the questions they ask. Because questions reveal something deeper than knowledge, they reveal preparation. They show whether you've done the work before you showed up. Ask lazy questions in a job interview. You've just told someone that you didn't care enough to think about the process. Show up to a meeting or class unprepared. You've just told everyone you're running at half speed. Even in relationships, the pattern shows up. When your questions are always shallow, how was your day? What's new? People figure out that you're not really present. That's what Cuban means when he says success leaves clues. Every small interaction broadcasts your standards, what you expect from yourself and what others can expect from you. Successful people, the ones who keep leveling up, they do one simple thing. Prepare like it matters, because it does. Preparation isn't optional. It's the price of entry, the signal that tells the world you're serious before you ever open your mouth. Part 5. How the successful manufacture pressure. The most successful people don't wait for pressure, they build it, because comfort never leaves quietly. You have to replace it with challenge. High performers start by creating urgency where none exists. For example, Jeff Bezos didn't rely on external deadlines, he created them. He'd shrink timelines, raise targets, and push his team just beyond their comfort zone. It wasn't chaos for chaos's sake, it was pressure by design. Because innovation doesn't come from comfort, it comes from constraint. When time runs short, creativity wakes up. When the stakes rise, excuses die. Others engineer pressure through exposure. They make bold promises out loud, goals so public they can't back down. Once the world is watching, the fear of embarrassment outweighs the fear of failure. Suddenly, hesitation is now momentum. The most successful stay alert through what Mark Cuban calls productive paranoia. You've heard this before, but here's where it deepens. Earlier, it was about staying aware to survive. Here, it's about weaponizing that awareness to push further. Study competitors, trends, and blind spots, not out of fear, but precision. It's the same instinct elite athletes exhibit, scanning for threats or opportunities so you can strike faster. Paranoia, when aimed correctly, becomes preparation. And over time, something strange happens. The work isn't just a task anymore, it becomes who you are. You fuse with the identity of progress itself. Not working hard feels like withdrawal. Rest feels like disconnection. That's the hidden code behind high performers. They've trained their brains to crave the climb. Every impossible goal, every uncomfortable task, every restless night, it doesn't drain them anymore, it feeds them. Their dopamine no longer rewards comfort, it rewards forward motion. That's why they look unstoppable. They've rewired what normal feels like. By the way, if you love understanding why people think, feel, and act the way they do, hit subscribe. Every week we unpack the hidden psychology shaping your choices, your habits, and the world around you. Stick around, it'll change how you see people and yourself. Part 6: How to Rewire Yourself. All right, let's bring this home. Now that you know why pressure matters, the real question is, how do you train your brain to live there without burning out? It starts simple, but it's not easy. Step 1: Seek discomfort on purpose. Look for the moments that makes your stomach drop a little. The conversation you've been avoiding. The idea you're scared to pitch. The thing that feels too early or too big. That hesitation, that's your signal. Every time you lean into it, your nervous system learns that discomfort isn't danger, it's potential. Step 2: Build your tolerance through repetition. Courage doesn't show up first, action does. Courage just follows. The reps feel invisible at first, but repetition turns resistance into readiness. Your brain starts to whisper, "We've done this before." Step 3: Integrate the pressure. You stop running from it, you start running on it. That's when effort turns into instinct, and instinct becomes identity. And by effort, I don't mean random grind. I mean deliberate effort toward meaningful goals, hard conversations, focused practice, shipping work before you feel ready. When your nervous system stops treating that sensation as danger, you stop dodging it. The struggle doesn't drain you anymore, it drives you. Part 7: Healthy pressure versus toxic pressure. Here's where most people get it wrong. Pressure isn't the problem, panic is. Pressure sharpens you. Panic scrambles you. The difference is control. Mark Cuban's version of paranoia isn't rooted in fear. It's rooted in awareness. He's not losing sleep because he's scared. He's awake because he's curious. That's the difference between healthy pressure and toxic pressure. Healthy pressure sharpens your focus. Toxic pressure shrinks your world. Healthy pressure says, "I need to stay ready." Toxic pressure says, "I'll never be enough." Work under healthy pressure expands your capacity. Your brain learns that challenge equals growth. With toxic pressure, your nervous system stays locked in survival mode. You stop learning. You just endure. The goal isn't to escape pressure, it's to regulate it. To build the awareness to know when you're driving growth and when you're driving yourself into the ground. High performers effectively dose pressure. They rest without guilt, but never without purpose. They recover to reload, not retreat. And that's what keeps their edge sustainable. Part 8: Paranoia through learning. Mark Cuban says his biggest paranoia isn't money, it's knowledge. If I'm not learning every minute, someone else will kick my ass. He's a billionaire and still feels behind because information is the real competitive edge. The moment you stop learning, you start losing, not just in business, in everything. Stop learning in your career, you get replaced. Stop learning in your relationships, you stop evolving together. Stop learning about yourself, you stay the same person, stuck in the same loops. Cuban calls it a healthy dose of paranoia, not because he's afraid, but because he's alert. Curiosity is his defense mechanism, and that's the mindset difference. Most people wait to feel motivated before they learn. High performers learn to stay motivated. Learning isn't just a tool, it's the fuel. The more you know, the more confident you become in uncertainty. And the more uncertain you're willing to feel, the faster you grow. That's why the most successful never rest on what they already know. They live right on the edge of what they don't. Part 9. The price of pressure. Let's be honest, this mindset isn't free. It costs you. You'll lose friends who don't understand why you care that much. You'll miss events because focus starts to feel more important than fun. You'll catch yourself checking emails on vacation, thinking about work during movies, planning the next move while everyone else is relaxing. Some people will call it unhealthy, and maybe they're right. But here's the trade-off. Most people never talk about. You don't get to build excellence and stay completely balanced, because the same pressure that wears you down also sharpens who you become. That's the paradox of progress. To stay ahead, you have to live with a bit of friction. The difference is why you do it. If it's to prove something, the pressure breaks you. If it's to improve something, the pressure builds you. High performers understand that. They don't suffer from pressure, they're sculpted by it. Because at some point you realize comfort doesn't make you happy, growth does. And growth, it always comes with a price tag. Part 10. Discipline beats talent. So after all this talk about pressure and growth, you might wonder, does it actually work? Mark Cuban says yes. And his proof? Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk wasn't born the most athletic player in the NBA. He didn't jump the highest or move the fastest, but he had something rarer, discipline. While other players partied after games, Dirk went back to the gym. Same routine, same shots, same drills, thousands of them. He tracked every miss, every angle, every bounce. Dirk treated repetition like a science experiment, testing, adjusting, improving every single day. That's discipline, not hype, not luck, just quiet, relentless precision. And it paid off. Big time. Dirk went on to become one of the greatest power forwards in NBA history, an MVP, a champion, the player who dethroned the Miami Heat's super team and brought Dallas its first NBA title. He didn't dominate because he was gifted. He dominated because he was grounded, because repetition became ritual, effort became instinct, and excellence became who he was. And it's not just basketball. The same rule applies everywhere. The best musicians aren't the most gifted. They're the ones who practice when no one's watching. The best students aren't the smartest. They're the ones who keep showing up after they fail the test. The best partners aren't the most romantic. They're the ones who stay kind when it's hardest to. Discipline turns consistency into character. It's what transforms potential into power. Because talent might open the door, but discipline is what keeps you in the room. So, if you've ever wondered why most people never truly succeed, this is it. It's not about luck. It's not even about talent. It's about staying uncomfortable long enough to grow. The people who rise don't chase ease, they chase edge. They use pressure like a tool. They learn faster, adapt quicker, and keep moving when others stop. So the next time life feels uncomfortable, remember, that's not failure knocking. That's growth trying to get in. Success was never meant to feel comfortable, it was meant to feel earned. And the moment you stop chasing comfort is the moment you finally start to feel free.